I watched my fiancé mock me live on Instagram, so I commented this. My name's Patrick, 32. I am a civil engineer by trade, an introvert by nature, and apparently the punchline of my fiancé's drunk comedy set. I was supposed to be getting married in 6 months. Lakeside venue, string quartet, handwritten vows. Rachel and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 1, and I thought we were rock solid. Until she went live. It was a typical Friday night. Rachel was out with her girls. Carolyn, the ringleader, Janet, and Maria. I was home with leftovers and our dog Winston, killing time on my phone. Then I saw it. Carolyn was live on Instagram. Title? Spilling Tea Pre-Wedding Shenanigans. I clicked. Rachel was front and center, wine in hand, laughing like she just won an award for most smug bride. They were huddled in Carolyn's place, riding the wine wave and gossiping. It started with wedding chatter, venues, dresses, guest drama, normal stuff. But then Carolyn smirked and asked, "So, how's Mr. Perfect holding up? Still treating the wedding like a NASA launch?" Rachel let out a sharp laugh. "Oh my God, Patrick, he's so clueless. Thinks the whole wedding is about checklists and spreadsheets. He has no idea about the real stuff." My stomach dropped. Janet leaned in, amused. "You still gonna redecorate his entire apartment after the wedding?" Maria chimed in. "Time to bleach out that bachelor beige." Rachel sipped and said, loud and clear, "Honestly, I think he loves his job and his savings account more than me. But whatever. He's manageable. He makes good money. That's all that matters. Once I've trained him up, he'll be funding the dream house, the dream vacations." They roared with laughter. I sat frozen. Then Rachel added the real knife twist. "He's so predictable. So safe. He'd never suspect a thing. Thinks I'm his sweet little angel." And she made this fake halo pose, hands clasped, eyes wide. My jaw clenched. And finally she said it. "He's so clueless." So I typed, "Am I?" The chat exploded. But one comment stopped the party cold. Carolyn's face went pale. "Rachel." Rachel squinted at the screen. Then her entire expression collapsed. Her wine glass dipped. Her voice cracked. "Oh my God, Patrick." I typed again. "Since you're airing everything out live, let me add this. The wedding is off. Engagement done. Enjoy building your dream house with someone else's salary. Good night." Pure chaos. "Carolyn, end it. Turn it off." Phones were dropped. Screams. Scrambling hands. The last thing I saw before the stream cut out? Rachel's face. Frozen. Humiliated. Horrified. But we're just getting started. The stream went dark. But the mess? Just beginning. Within minutes, my phone buzzed with excitement, reminding me of Christmas morning. If Christmas morning were in a chaotic place, I was getting messages from Rachel, Carolyn, and even some unknown numbers. It was a whirlwind of texts, missed calls, and voicemails, all coming at me at once. I turned the phone off, placed it face down next to the engagement ring we custom designed together, and poured myself a drink. Winston, my dog, rested his head on my lap. He didn't know what had just imploded, but I appreciated the solidarity. 15 minutes later, the doorbell rang. I ignored it. It rang again, then came pounding. I checked the peephole. Rachel. Mascara streaked down her face like a melted raccoon. Behind her, her mother, Deborah, was stiff as a statue and twice as furious. I opened the door. "Just enough." "Patrick," Rachel sobbed. "Please." "It was just stupid talk. A joke. It didn't mean anything." Deborah pushed forward. "You humiliated my daughter in front of the internet over a harmless girl's night? Are you insane?" I looked straight at Rachel. "Was it a joke when you called me clueless? When did you say I was manageable? When you spelled out how my salary was your golden ticket?" "No," Rachel whispered, then louder. "Yes, I was tipsy." Carolyn was egging me on. "You know I love you." "I don't think you do, Rachel," I said. "And I definitely don't love the person I saw on that screen." Deborah was fuming. "This is outrageous. You can't just cancel a wedding like it's a dinner reservation. We have deposits. Guests are invited." "With all due respect," I said, "your daughter publicly ridiculed and disrespected me. The only thing to fix is cutting our ties before they're legal." Rachel dropped to her knees. "I'm not even exaggerating. You're ruining everything. My dress, the venue, the bridesmaids. My friends all saw it. Everyone saw." "Exactly," I said. "And now they know who you really are." Eventually, I closed the door. I slept surprisingly well. The next morning, I turned my phone on to over 200 messages. Some from friends. Some were from numbers I didn't recognize. Mixed bag. Some calling me heartless. Some calling me a legend. I got dressed, went to work, and pretended the internet hadn't seen my relationship implode in HD. At lunch, my assistant buzzed me. There's a situation in the lobby. It was Rachel. Again. And Deborah. She was crying. Deborah was demanding to speak to my boss. I walked down, calm as ever. My boss, David, met me halfway. Handle it, Patrick. But not in my building. Security escorted them out. I thought it was over. But the next surprise came in a manila envelope. A letter from Rachel's new lawyer. Apparently, I owed her $10,000 for non-refundable wedding expenses and an additional $5,000 for emotional distress and public humiliation. Yes. Really? I forwarded it to my lawyer, Christine. A shark in heels. She called me 30 minutes later and actually laughed. She publicly defamed and humiliated you, then got dumped in real time, and now she wants a check? She does, I said. Christine drafted a response that was polite but surgical. In it, she stated Rachel had clearly demonstrated a lack of intent to enter into marriage in good faith. We cited the live stream, the chat logs, and her statements. She even quoted Rachel's exact words, "He's manageable. He'll fund the dream house. No legal grounds. No moral leg to stand on." But Rachel wasn't done. 2 days later, Netflix logged me out. Password changed. Then came the charges. $800 worth of high-end skincare on a department store card Rachel had once been an authorized user on. A card she'd never touched in years. Now suddenly maxed out on Revenge Moisturizer. I disputed it. Locked down every account. Changed every password. Called Christine again. She began collecting receipts. This isn't just petty, she said. This is a pattern. A pattern, indeed. Because the next time Rachel tried to reach me, it wasn't a call. It was an anonymous social media post. Someone, likely Carolyn, started hinting online that I was a controlling partner. Toxic. Emotionally abusive. Financially manipulative. The rumors were spreading. And my boss? He called me in again. Someone had emailed him anonymously, suggesting I'd mishandled client funds. I stared at the printed email in his hand. After the fake email to my boss, HR launched a mandatory review. I had to sit through meetings, audits, and evaluations all over completely fabricated claims. I stayed calm, handed them everything they asked for, and trusted that the facts would clear me. They did. But the stain? Still lingered. Christine wasn't amused. This isn't just a vendetta, she said during our next call. She's trying to annihilate your credibility. Financially, socially, professionally. You need to hit back. Hard. I asked. Legally. We filed for a cease and desist order for harassment and defamation. Christine compiled everything, the live stream footage, chat logs, lawyer letters, social posts, burner voicemails, workplace disruption, and yes, even the skincare spree. Meanwhile, I started hearing things. Mutual friends told me Carolyn had been whispering poison to anyone who would listen. Patrick was always too controlling. He didn't let Rachel breathe. He's just mad she finally stood up for herself. One friend showed me DMs Carolyn sent to a female colleague of mine, implying I was emotionally abusive and manipulative with a side of financial sketchiness. They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. Christine updated the paperwork. We were now preparing to file for a full-blown restraining order. Then came the tipping point. One of those burner numbers Rachel kept using accidentally called me at 2 a.m. I didn't answer, but she left a voicemail. A long one. She was sobbing, rambling, slurring. You ruined me, Patrick. I can't show my face. Everyone hates me. Carolyn's trying to help, but it's not enough. You have to fix this. I loved you. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. You were supposed to marry me, not destroy me. My jaw tightened. I forwarded it to Christine. Time to stop playing defense, she said. We filed. A week later, we were in court. Rachel showed up looking like a victim out of central casting. Soft sweater. No makeup. Tearful eyes. Deborah by her side, glaring daggers. Carolyn was there too, sitting in the back, radiating smugness. Rachel's lawyer, Mr. Samuel, gave it his best shot. She's heartbroken. She's been publicly shamed. All she wanted was closure. Christine stood and played the clip. The live stream. Rachel's words echoed through the courtroom speakers. He's so clueless. He's manageable. His salary will fund my dream life. Then came the voicemails. The Instagram screenshots. The messages to coworkers. When Christine presented the anonymous email sent to my boss and Rachel blurted, just loud enough for us to hear. Carolyn, you weren't supposed to send that. Mr. Samuel put his hand over his face. The judge didn't need convincing. He granted a full restraining order. Rachel had to stay 100 yards away from me, my home, and my job. No calls. No messages. No social media. And absolutely no more using friends as proxies. Carolyn looked like she'd swallowed a wasp when her name was read aloud as a person of interest. As we left the courtroom, Christine leaned over and whispered. She wanted to burn your life down. Instead, she lit the match under her own feet. The restraining order changed the rules of the game. Rachel couldn't contact me, couldn't show up, couldn't send her proxies. But she could still stew. According to people still orbiting her life, she was unraveling. Not dramatically, not publicly, but piece by piece. She'd moved back in with her parents. Her part-time job at the boutique barely covered her coffee habit, let alone her apartment. Deborah was allegedly fuming. Gregory, her dad, just looked exhausted. And Carolyn? She disappeared. Completely. One day she was posting TikToks about strong women and toxic exes, and the next? Silent. I heard, through the grapevine, that she got hit with a very polite letter from Christine, something about pending legal action if her name popped up in connection to any defamatory content. Apparently that did the trick. But the real problem now? The venue. We'd paid almost $8,000 in deposits. Half from me, half from her parents. The venue was holding firm, non-refundable unless both parties agreed to cancel. Rachel's side claimed I unilaterally sabotaged the event. Christine sent over the live stream footage. They went quiet. Mr. Samuel, now very subdued, suggested a compromise, both parties eat their losses. I agreed. Rachel's parents weren't thrilled, but the venue was officially off the table. One front closed. Then came the financial cleanup. Christine and I combed through every lingering link. Shared accounts? Gone. Authorized users? Revoked. Bills? Unbundled. I changed every password, froze every open line, and flagged her behavior with the credit agencies. Then she tried a new tactic. The regretful ex narrative. She started reaching out to our mutual friends. Not the ones who chose sides early. The neutrals. The quiet ones. She cried. She told them she was misunderstood. That the wine had fogged her brain. That she wasn't herself during the stream. Some fell for it. One messaged me, she's really sorry. Could you maybe talk it out? Closure helps healing. I didn't respond. Then one afternoon I got a delivery. A box. No return address. Inside? The engagement ring. And a note. Just 3 words scrawled in her handwriting. Happy now, Patrick? No punctuation. Just bitterness on expensive paper. I didn't react. Didn't post about it. Didn't text her. I called Christine, logged the delivery, and moved on. But that night I heard from Gregory. He called around 9 p.m. said he needed 5 minutes. She's not okay, he said. Deborah's blaming you. I'm just trying to keep the house from exploding. With respect, I said, your daughter lit the fuse. He sighed. I'm not asking you to take her back. God, no. I just want this to end. Quietly. Without more court dates. Without more collateral damage. I didn't start this, I reminded him. She did. She filmed it. She went live. She turned our wedding into a joke. I know, he said quietly. Believe me, I know. But please, if there's anything you can do to cool the storm, for all our sakes. I didn't make promises. And I didn't try to fix anything. 2 days later, Rachel sent one final message. From a burner, of course. Tell Christine I give up. You win. Congratulations. Enjoy your pity party. I sent it straight to Christine. Noted, she said. But we're not done until every door is locked behind her. Weeks passed. Rachel stayed silent. For the first time in months, things were still. I got used to the quiet. No surprise calls. No late-night burner texts. No thinly veiled posts from mutual friends. Even Carolyn's name had vanished from my notifications. Christine called it scorched earth peace. But peace makes you reflect. And reflection? That brings clarity. The house still had bits of Rachel in it. The framed engagement photo in the closet I hadn't thrown away. The wine glass she used every night was still pushed to the back of the cabinet. The playlist she made for wedding planning is buried in my Spotify. I didn't cry. I didn't spiral. I just noticed. One night, I pulled out my old journals. I wanted to see how far back the red flags went. Turns out, they were there from the start. The first time she mocked my job at a party. The time she joked about upgrading my wardrobe. The argument over my savings, how she said it was selfish to keep that much untouched instead of building a lifestyle. I ignored it all. Brushed it off as banter. Normal friction. But it wasn't. It was contempt. And I let it live in my house. Christine, ever the realist, sent over a summary file. A full record of every incident, every message, every cost. She called it my closure packet. It included the restraining order, court minutes, digital forensic analysis, refund logs, witness statements, and correspondence with opposing counsel. I printed it, bound it, put it on a shelf like a yearbook of chaos. Then I did something unexpected. I took a trip. Unplugged. Booked a solo Airbnb cabin on a lake. No reception. No Wi-Fi. Just me, Winston, a stack of books, and a fishing rod I barely knew how to use. The second day in, a car pulled into the gravel drive. I was on the porch with a beer. The sun had just started dipping, that orange gold glow sliding across the water. The door opened. Gregory stepped out. Rachel's father. He held up a bag of groceries like it was a peace offering. Christine told me you might be here. I wanted to talk. I said nothing. Just watched him slowly approach. He sat down next to me on the porch steps. I'm not here to ask for anything, he said. I'm just tired. He handed me a manila envelope. Inside, a handwritten letter from Rachel. I didn't open it. He watched me for a beat, then said she's in therapy now. Weekly. Voluntary. Still, I said nothing. She's not okay, but she's not dangerous anymore. I don't expect you to care, but she wanted you to know. We sat there in silence for maybe 5 minutes. Then he stood up, nodded once, and walked back to his car. I didn't stop him. When he was gone, I opened the letter. Rachel's handwriting. Neat. Precise. She apologized. Not just a half-assed sorry for how it made you feel. She named everything. The live stream. The comments. The sabotage. The lawyer. The emails. All of it. At the end, she wrote, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to remember who I was before I turned into someone else. Thank you for ending it before I lost everything. I folded the letter. Didn't burn it. Didn't save it for nostalgia. Just tucked it away. That night, I slept for 9 straight hours. Back in the city, the mess felt like a rumor I used to believe. The house was cleaner. Emptier in a good way. I put Rachel's playlist in the archive, packed up the last of her kitchenware, and donated her wine rack. I didn't burn sage or post cryptic quotes. I just cleared space. Christine checked in mostly to close the file. No new movement on her end, she said. The silence might actually be real this time. I believed her. But I still kept everything backed up. Then something happened I didn't expect. A woman named Jess reached out. An old college friend. We'd spoken maybe once every few years, casually. She messaged, hey, saw your name floating around for all the wrong reasons. I know what it's like. If you ever want to grab a drink and compare disaster notes, I'm around. We met at a bookstore bar. She brought bourbon. I brought detachment. But the conversation? It was easy. Turns out Jess had been through her circus. Not live stream level, but close. Her ex forged a lease in her name and left her holding $7,000 in unpaid rent. She took him to court. Won. Never saw a cent. But she smiled when she told me. Winning wasn't about the money, she said. It was about getting back to myself. I understood that more than I wanted to admit. We started meeting up weekly. No romance. Just recovery. Shared stories, quiet evenings, silence without expectation. Winston liked her. That was enough endorsement for me. One night, she asked, do you regret calling off the wedding in the chat? I thought about it. The comment. The fallout. The chaos. No, I said. It was the only honest part of the whole thing. She clinked her glass to mine. To public exits. A week later, Christine forwarded me one final update. Rachel had officially moved cities. New job. New apartment. Her social media had gone dark months ago. But now it was legally official, address change, name change request filed. She's burying the version of herself she wrecked, Christine said. Let her, I replied. After that, there wasn't much left to clean up. Just memory management. I canceled the venue credit voucher. Donated the leftover party favors. Recycled the wedding folder. And one afternoon, I closed the wedding budget.xlsx file for the last time. No dramatic moment. Just an alt-tab, a click, and silence. Winston barked at a squirrel out the window like the universe reminding me that not everything needs closure to keep moving. Later that night, I got a text from Jess. Want to help me paint my living room tomorrow? I said yes. I didn't think about Rachel when I showed up. I didn't think about lawsuits or live streams. I didn't think about the ring or the letter or Gregory showing up with his dad face and envelopes. I just helped Jess paint. We didn't talk much. We didn't need to. And when she handed me a beer and said, you don't owe anyone a happy ending, I knew she was right. 1 year later, I forgot the anniversary. Not of the wedding. Of the implosion. The live stream. The moment everything flipped. I only realized this because Facebook showed me a memory, an engagement photo. Me and Rachel. Her smile was camera perfect. Mine was real. I closed the app. Didn't feel much. That weekend, Jess and I hosted a small get-together. Just a handful of people, some wine, some food, some music low enough to talk over. It wasn't a big deal. But it felt like a new chapter. Winston wore a bandana and wandered between guests. Jess made pasta. I grilled. People laughed. Nobody mentioned Rachel. Nobody needed to. Later that night, when the guests were gone and the dishes half done, Jess flopped on the couch, legs tangled in a blanket. You ever think about her? She asked, not accusing, just curious. Sometimes, I said. But not like before. Not with heat? More like ash? She nodded. I think that's how you know you're past it, she said. A few weeks later, Christine emailed me again. One last time. Just closed the final file. It's done. Officially. I sent back a thank you note, short and to the point. Appreciate everything you did. Hope I never need your services again. She responded with a winking emoji. Me too. That night, I poured a drink and pulled out a new journal. The old ones were boxed up somewhere in storage. This one had a blank leather cover. No title. No agenda. I wrote, survival isn't the goal. Pieces. Then I took Winston for a walk. The neighborhood was quiet. Spring was rolling in. Porch lights glowed warm. I passed a wedding reception at the end of the street. Music, laughter, people in suits. Someone popped a bottle of champagne and cheered. I didn't flinch. Just called while I was out. Asked if I could bring home takeout. I said yes. Thai probably. Something simple. When I got back, she was in my hoodie, legs crossed on the couch, laughing at something on her phone. And that's when it hit me. I didn't get a happy ending. I got a quiet one. And maybe that's what I needed all along. What would you have done if your fiancé humiliated you live on stream? Would you end it publicly or handle it behind closed doors? Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.